Hi, everyone. Welcome again to Ivy English. I'm Bruce.
I'm Angela.
And I'm Wesley.
Well, we three start off this month with some news. The first article that we have here on page 14 is Storing Nuclear Waste in Finland.
As you do.
我们的中文标题是坐落芬兰，世上首座永久核废料处置场。
All right, Finland is one of our Scandinavian friends. That is the countries in the very northernmost part of Europe. And nuclear waste will be after processing certain kinds of minerals. You are left with some good parts and some bad parts. And the bad parts are very bad. They can kill people, animals, or plants for many, many years if they come into contact with this waste. The waste refers to what you don't want or need after processing something. So, in Finland, they have decided to store that waste. And let's find out more about it as I read through the whole paragraph.
Oh, the reason you have to store it is you can't destroy it. It's forever.
那核废料当然是没有办法把它摧毁掉的，所以必须要找个地方把它储存起来。
Okay, let's get busy with our first and second paragraph. There are only two of them now. Nuclear energy has often been touted as a cleaner alternative to fossil fuels. Unlike oil, gas, and coal-fired power plants, nuclear power plants do not produce harmful greenhouse gases. However, they do produce large amounts of radioactive waste. Scientists and engineers have long been stumped on how to best store and dispose of this highly toxic material. Finland believes it has come up with a solution. The country has spent about 4 decades planning and constructing a facility 450 meters underground to bury its nuclear waste. The facility, called Archaeo, is located on the west coast of Finland near the Olkiluoto nuclear power plant. The site was picked because of how geologically stable the bedrock is. Archaeo can hold up to 5,500 tons of nuclear waste, and it will take over 100 years to be completely filled. When that happens, the facility will be securely sealed, and the nuclear waste will slowly decompose undisturbed.
Okay, so nuclear energy has often been touted. If you tout something, you're basically selling it. So like, you know, in a night market when a guy stands on a little chair and is like, "Yamal, that guy is called a tout, and he is touting his product. And so in this case, we're talking about touting as people in newspapers or opinion pieces being like, yeah, this is a good idea. So if something has been touted as a cleaner alternative to fossil fuels, it means people in newspaper opinion pieces are often going like, yeah, you should do this. And what we should do is use nuclear energy because it's not as dirty, supposedly, as fossil fuels. So an alternative is a different choice or another way to do something. And fossil fuels is basically oil and gasoline because they are fuels. They're things that power things that come from fossils, literally from dead plants from millions of years ago.
好，所以我们看到这个句子，他说这个 nuclear energy 就是核能 has often 常常怎么样呢 been touted as to be touted as 就是被赞扬被称颂。那 tout 这个字本来是叫卖的意思，就你要在市场里面叫卖的东西，然后后来就引申成为赞扬的意思。然后所以 being touted as 就是它被赞扬，大家都说它好。那通常是 tout 这个是有一点点那种吹牛的成分在里面，所以大家都说啊这个好 as 就作为一个什么它很好的，作为一个 cleaner 比较干净的 alternative 就替代方案 to alternative to something 就是替代什么的，注意那个介词是 to， 所以它是一个比较干净的替代方案，替代什么呢？替代化石燃料 fossil fuels 就是化石燃料。
Okay, the next sentence is unlike oil, gas, and coal-fired power plants, nuclear power plants do not produce harmful greenhouse gases. The information from the first sentence is more or less repeated here in the second one, but Maybe it's easier to see if we talk about good fossil fuels. If they're found, well, oil is from fossils itself, so is the gas. And coal-fired power plants, that's a really dirty source of power, but for countries that cannot afford or they cannot technically deal with the dangerous nuclear energy sources, they really have no other choice.
No, to be honest, I don't understand why people have to talk about nuclear energy when solar and wind power and wave power are right there. And they have been investigated, and there's lots and lots of good solutions that work, and battery storage for energy is so much better. Like, why are we talking nuclear again? Because there's many, many better ways to do things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a very powerful source. Per cubic centimeter, nuclear fuel gives off more energy than any other.
No, I agree.
But
I get
so
that.
dirty.
Well, I mean, the reason why people think about nuclear as opposed to the other kinds is that our whole system is based on a centralized power source which is distributed across a network. And those other power sources that I mentioned are also decentralized. So you'd have decentralized sources with decentralized network, and that upsets the paradigm. And so people would rather do something familiar, which is central power source, even though it's just as dirty, it's just as much of a problem.
好，那这个Angel 老师基本上是说，这个其实除了核能之外，还有很多可以替代的能源。那 Bruce 老师说的核能有一个优点，就是它其实很有效率。不过呢，这个 Angel 老师说没有错，很多东西都其实可以做到很有效率，但是主要我们会想要用核能，是因为我们人类的社会文明已经习惯了有一个由中央可以统一控制或者供应的一个不管什么东西一个来源。那如果说你用风啊，用什么其他的各种替代的发电方案的话，那个就没有办法有一个中央供应的一个不管是核能还是煤这种东西，所以就不合我们现在的经济模式。那当然这个是很复杂的一个问题，大家可以慢慢去多阅读，多看看不同的讲法。好，那这个地方我们看到说这个 unlike 是不像跟什么不一样呢？跟 oil 就是燃油，它有一个 hyphen 表示还没讲完啊，跟燃油或者是 gas 是燃气，还有呢 coal fired， 所以 coal 就是燃煤，那后面一个 fired， 所以我们知道前面是 oil fired， 那还有 gas fired， 所以跟燃油或者是燃气或者是燃煤所驱动的 fired 就由他们所燃烧所驱动的 power plants 发电厂，也就是跟这些用燃油、燃气、燃煤的发电厂所不同的是，核能电厂 nuclear power plants do not， 他们不会 produce 产生 harmful 有害的 greenhouse 就是温室 gases 就是气体，所以他们不会产生有害的温室气体。
However, they do produce large amounts of radioactive waste. Radioactive means that it has a kind of a wavelength that comes from it, which is very bad for human DNA and health. And so they produce this waste, this stuff that you must get rid of but can't be destroyed. So you got to put it somewhere. You have to store it somewhere. So we don't have harmful greenhouse gases, but we do have radioactive waste. Which one would you like to have? I would prefer neither. Thank you very much.
好，所以呢 however 但是呢他们 do 是强调的，但是他们确实会 produce 产生 large amounts of 就是大量的 radioactive 就是放射性的 waste 就是废料，所以他们会产生大量的放射性废料。
Scientists and engineers have long been stumped on how to best store and dispose of this highly toxic material. The highly toxic material is the processed radioactive material. Scientists and engineers, if you've been stumped, as they have been on this problem, that means you're confused or you can't find an answer to something and you feel very frustrated. Well, if we use nuclear power from certain kinds of ore, O-R-E, certain rocks have it. But what's the best way to keep it? Because those powerful waves can go right through concrete, and so you can't put it in the building and lock the door. That's not good enough. So you have to find another safe way and clean way to dispose of this highly toxic, poisonous material. Dispose of is to control or get rid of.
好，所以科学家们还有工程师呢 have long been 他们长期以来一直是怎么样 they have been stumped on something。 好，这个 stump 这个字呢它就是 to cause to be at a loss 的意思，或者是 baffle B-A-F-F-L-E 就一直为这个所困惑。所以科学家跟工程师一直为什么所困惑呢？ 那注意后面的介词是 on， have long been stomped on。困惑的是什么？是 how to best store， 如何能够最好的储存，还有 dispose of， 丢弃或者处置这一种的 highly 修饰 toxic，highly toxic 就是有剧毒的 material 就物质或者材料，在这些就是废料。所以科学家跟工程师一直在想办法，想不出办法，看如何能够储存最好的，能够把它储存起来，能够处置这种有剧毒的废料。
So Finland believes it has come up with a solution. We talk about Finland as a country, so it's an it, not a he or a she. And they think, or it thinks, the country thinks, it has a solution, a way to fix the problem.
好，所以芬兰呢认为他们已经 come up with a solution， 就是想出了一个解决办法。他们认为他们找到了解决办法了。
The country has spent about 4 decades planning and constructing a facility 450 meters underground to bury its nuclear waste. So what have the Finns decided to do with their nuclear waste? They have come up with a solution or answer. For 40 years already, 4 decades, they have been planning and constructing or building a facility that is a place that can process or temporarily keep this dangerous waste material. Of course, that's underground. 450 meters is half a kilometer.
好，所以呢，这个国家呢，就是芬兰，他们已经花了大概40年 about 4 decades, spent time doing something. 他们这40年花在哪里呢？在 planning, 他们要计划，而且呢 constructing, 建筑一个 facility, 一个设施。那这个设施呢 that is 这个地底下450公尺的一个设施，目的是要 bury, 要掩埋 its nuclear waste, 它的核废料。
The facility is called Onkalo or Onkalo. I'm not quite sure because I do not speak Finnish. It is located on the west coast of Finland, and it's near the Olkiluoto nuclear power plant. So obviously you would put it near your nuclear power plant if you can, because that saves on transportation troubles.
好 facility 这个设施这个场所啊，那后面一个同位语告诉你它的名字叫做这个 Onkalo， 大概是安克罗。那 is located 它位在哪里呢？ On the west coast of， 在 coast 用 on 这个介系词，它就位于芬兰的西岸，那靠近这个奥尔基洛核电厂。
The site was picked because of how geologically stable the bedrock is. So Olkiluoto, on the west coast of Finland, that is facing the UK and Iceland, is facing a lot of ocean. Apparently the rocks there, deep into the earth, are very, very stable.
好，所以这个场址呢 was picked 被选定，为什么呢？因为 how 它是如何的 geologically 就是地质上的 stable， 所谓地质稳定 stable 就是稳定，就是它不太会有地震，是指这个 the bedrock 就是这个岩层 is， 所以换句话说，因为它当地的这个地质的岩层非常稳定，所以被选为这个地方被选为这个处理场。
Onkalo can hold up to 5,500 tons of nuclear waste, which is a lot, that's good. And it will take over 100 years to be completely filled. And by that they mean at the current use levels of nuclear waste, we will fill it in 100 years.
好 hold 是储存，所以这个地方它可以储存 up to 高达5500公吨的这个核废料，然后呢 it will take 必须要花超过100年的时间 over 100 years 才可以 to be completely filled 才会把它完全填满，换句话说它应该可以应付未来100年的这个需求。
When that happens, after this 100 years and the nuclear waste, there's no more room for new nuclear waste, it will be securely sealed and the nuclear waste will slowly decompose undisturbed.
好，那 that 就是指它完全填满的时候，这个时候呢 the facility 这个设施 will be 将会 securely 就是很安全的 sealed 封闭起来，然后呢这个核废料就会慢慢的 decompose 分解啊，当然非常的慢啊，慢慢的 decompose 分解，然后呢 undisturbed 就是不受干扰的，它可以在那边慢慢的分解。
Okay, let's look at our question based on today's article. It is, why is Finland building the Onkalo facility?
好，芬兰为什么要建造这一个永久核废料处置场呢？
Well, they explain it pretty well in the article. They're trying to find a safe way to store nuclear waste and for a long, long time. So, the answer to the question is, to best store and dispose of its highly toxic material.
好，那他们其实最主要就是想要找到一个安全的方法，能够储存、能够处置这些剧毒的核废料啊，而且能够长久的处理处置。
We now jump to this next page in the next short article. Archaeo dogs on the hunt.
好，我们的中文标题是德国狗狗考古队嗅出千年历史。
All right, please listen carefully as I read through these two paragraphs, and then we'll get busy explaining them. Search and rescue dogs have long played a vital role in locating missing people after natural disasters. In Germany, these dogs are now being employed for a novel purpose. A group of dogs has been trained to search for ancient human remains. They are an integral part of an organization called Archaeo dogs. Each of these dogs has undergone 2 years of training to detect bones buried up to 45 feet underground. Only dogs with a 90% success rate can join the team. These canine companions provide invaluable assistance to their handlers by offering keen insight into the best spots for archaeological excavations. Also, some of the dogs receive specialized training to assist law enforcement in solving long-standing cold cases. While these responsibilities may appear to be challenging tasks, the dogs just think of it as fun hunting.
Also, wow, they can smell something 45 feet underground? Dang. Anyways, search and rescue dogs. Search means looking for and rescue means saving somebody. So search and rescue dogs have long played a vital role. If you play a vital role, it means you're very, very important to something. In doing what? In locating missing people after natural disasters.
好，所以 search and rescue dogs 就是搜救犬 ，search 是搜索 ，rescue 是救，所以搜救犬。它长久以来 have long played 扮演一个 vital 非常重要的一个 role 角色，在哪方面扮演重要角色呢？在 locating 就是去找到位置，找到谁的位置呢？找到 missing people 就是失踪的人。什么时候去找呢？ After natural disasters 在自然灾害发生之后去找失踪的人。所以长久以来，搜救犬在自然灾害之后寻找失踪人员上面呢，它有扮演了一个至关重要的角色。
In Germany, these dogs are now being employed for a novel purpose. So our friendly dogs are being exported to Germany, where the Germans are using them or employing them for a novel, means a brand new, a very different way to rescue people.
好，所以在德国呢，这些狗现在怎么样？ are being employed 被雇用被请来干嘛呢 ？For 后面加的是 purpose for a 什么 purpose 就是为了一个什么目的？那这个目的是怎么样？是 for a novel purpose。novel 在这里是指新奇的，是个形容词啊，不是指小说。所以他们现在被请来，为了一个新奇的目的，这些狗现在被聘请过来了。
A group of dogs has been trained. They have been taught to search for ancient human remains. Human remains means basically dead bodies. But ancient human remains would be like thousands-of-year-old human graves.
好，所以呢，有一群狗 has been trained to 被训练来。那这个地方用 has， 因为 group 是单数的，所以这群狗被训练来 search for 加的是目标，所以 search for 就是他们要去找的目标是什么呢？是 ancient 很古老的 human remains， 就是人类的遗骸。
They are an integral part of an organization called Archaeo dogs. They are this special group of dogs being trained in Germany, and as we just said, they're a very important, integral part. They're a very important part of an organization called Archaeo dogs.
And of course they're called that because it's for archaeology.
那 Archaeo 跟这个考古学那个字有关，所以他们是用来考古的。那他们是 an integral part of， 就是一个不可或缺的一部分，叫做 an integral part of。所以他们是一个组织，成为 Archaeo dogs 这个组织的一个不可或缺的一部分，指这些狗狗。
Each of these dogs has undergone 2 years of training. If you undergo something, you go through a difficult or challenging experience. So they've undergone 2 years of training to detect or find bones buried up to 45 feet underground. That is
amazing.
2 or 3 stories.
好，所以呢很厉害哈，2-3层楼那么深的骨头，他们都能够侦测到。所以他说 ，each of these dogs， 这些狗每一只呢都 has undergone， 都受了2年的训练，叫做 undergone 2 years of training。这个片语大家好好把它学起来，因为考试很可能会考，它可能要么就考你 undergone， 要么就考 training。所以 undergo training 就接受训练，所以每一只这个狗呢都接受了2年的训练，目的是要 detect， 要能够侦测 bones 骨头，然后 buried 就 that are buried， that are 省略掉了，那些被埋在多深的骨头呢 up to 高达45英尺在地底下，所以他们要能够侦测到45英尺地底下所埋的骨头。
Only dogs with a 90% success rate can join the team. So in these 2 years of very difficult training, still the dogs must have an A or A plus success rate. They must be among the very best or they can't join the team.
好，只有狗，什么样的狗呢？后面修饰 with a 90% success rate， 就有 90% 成功率的狗才能够 join the team， 才能够加入隊伍。所以你如果成功率不够高，就不能加入。
These canine companions, canine is another way to say dog, and companions are friends that accompany you. And we like to say this together because canine companion sounds cool. So these dogs provide invaluable assistance. If something is invaluable, it means you cannot put a price to it. They're so valuable that you can't even say how valuable it is. They provide this assistance or help to their handlers, the people that are in charge of them, by offering keen insight into the best spots for archaeological excavations. So the dogs offer an idea of where people should dig, because digging is a lot of work.
好，那这些 canine 是犬类的 companions 是伙伴啊，这些犬类狗狗的伙伴呢 provide 提供 invaluable 就是无价的 assistance 协助给谁呢？他提供无价的协助 provide assistance to 给什么呀？给 their handlers 就是带这些狗的人，跟这些狗搭档的人。那怎么提供协助呢？ By offering 他们协助的方法是他们会提供 keen 就是很敏锐的 insight 就是这个观察，就我们本来是 insight 通常分成真知灼见，就是看得很深入的东西，他们有很深入的观察力。 into 看哪里呢？看 the best spots 最好的地点。什么样最好的地点呢？你要考古挖掘的最好地点啊，这个 excavation 就是挖掘的意思。
Also, some of the dogs receive specialized training to assist law enforcement in solving long-standing cold cases. So in addition to archaeology, some of these dogs are specially trained to help the police in finding out what really happened, long-standing cold cases. A cold case is one that the police just are unable, with the information they have so far, to solve a case, but the dogs can help.
此外呢，这里面有些狗他们会接受 receive specialized 就是专门的 training 的训练来 assist 来协助 law enforcement 就是执法机构的或者执法人员都可以哈。那协助他们干嘛呢？后面 assist someone in doing something 协助他们 solving 协助他们解决破案 long standing 就是长期存在的 cold cases 类似我们中文讲的悬案啊，因为太久的都冷掉了无法破案了。
So while these responsibilities may appear to be challenging tasks, I mean, it's not something you or I could do, so it seems like it's really hard work, but the dogs just think of it as fun hunting. I mean, imagine your job is like, okay, go do this fun thing. Okay, now you get a treat. Okay, now do this fun thing. Okay, now you get a treat. The dogs are like, yeah, I like my job.
好，所以当这些责任 may 可能 appear to be 看起来好像是 challenging tasks 是很有挑战性的一些任务，那这些狗呢，他们只是 think of it 这个他们只是狗把这个 job it 他们只是 think of it as 把它想成是个 fun hunting 很有趣的狩猎。
Okay, we got a quick question for you on the second article or the second story in today's article, and that is, What are Archaeo dogs trained to locate? What are they looking for?
好，那这些狗狗它们被训练要干嘛呢？
And the answer is they're looking for ancient bones, and they can find them buried up to 45 feet underground.
好，那答案是他们训练的目的是要能找出古老的人类遗骸，而且这些人类遗骸埋在深达地下45尺的地方，他们都能够找到。
Well, that's it for our first article for this month. Join us very quickly for the next few. Till then, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.